The 2022 presidential interview, the analysis of Socialista group. As a group, watch or listen to the interview of the top 5 presidential aspirants, based on the ongoing discussions on business ethics. Make your assessments that are guided, but not limited. Task 1. Assess the host in terms of handling the interview, the questions raised, the credibility.
As a normal person, I can say that based on what I watch on how he handle or interview our presidential candidates, he provide 10 similar questions about preparedness, political, abortion, victim of sexual violence, etc. And he added a follow-up question to be able to justify and clarify their answer in a certain question. One personal question, one final question, and a 60-second political fast talk. Also, he tried to be calm and he always agreed to their answer to see and to tell to people that he is just doing his job as an interviewer. As an individual, I like the way he does his interview. He provides questions with facts like data that can give them an idea in a certain problem. In the overall interview, based on what the internet said about it, it is very successful interview because they provide the 5 presidential candidates. I think she did a great job. She gave them question with follow-up to justify their answer. The questions are more personal, like she focused on their courage and loyalty. Despite of the success of the said interview, Inquirer.net gave them a headline of top 10 funniest tweet from the Jessica Soho presidential interview because of the straightforward way of asking a question of Jessica Soho to the candidates. Also, Kapamilya broadcaster Karen Davila pointed out that the question asked during the interview revealed the character of the candidates. In the interview, Jessica Soho provided facts data with corresponding questions, and she also had a segment like isang salita. She provide an image and the candidates will give a one word to describe that image. And overall, I can say that the interview is very informative and successful. Comparing the two interviewers on how they handle the interview, they both informative, reasonable, fact, and it can help the people decide who is the most qualified to be the next president of the Philippines. But on the other hand, the differences are Boy Abunda's interview is more specific to a certain issues that our country is facing, and he provide different video in every candidates. Jessica Soho's interview is more personal and she did not complete the 5 candidates because of allegation that she is biased, but in overall, the interviews are very successful in both sides.
Task 2. Assess the presidential candidates in terms of their plans, decisions, and perspectives as affected by their personal, political, religious, and other related factors that are visibly affecting.
Senator Ping Lacson said that he will support proposal to allow divorce in our country. I agree with that. Divorce should be legalized in our country. Marriage is sacred, but we should have a freedom. I agree with Senator Ping Lacson when he said you cannot kill the mining industry because it is a major industry in the country. It is right that the ban was lifted, but the bottom line is it should be responsible. The problem is that there is a corrupt. When the smallest scale mining gives bravery, the government gives permit even there is a violation. Senator Ping Lacson said the woman who raped should not have to abort. I agree with that. We should not kill a life of an innocent child. Instead, we should provide help in raising the child and in reducing the trauma of the mother. I agree with Senator Ping Lacson when he said the pandemic handling of the government is failure because the government are only reacting about it and didn't do anything to prevent it. We should put the right person in the right position so that they can do their job correctly.
In the mining issue, Senator Bongbong Marcos find it is a very controversial issue, but he is not disagree with the idea of mining, as he finds it a very valuable source of revenue for the Philippines. That will be a big help, especially today that we are experiencing and dealing with crisis. We all know that Philippines have a great source of natural resources that is good for mining purposes, and for him, the real problem here is the way how miner is doing its mining. For example, is the open pit mining. He find it as a great contributor of environmental pollution and a bad for health of the citizen. And for him, it's not a good idea as sufficient monitoring is not well utilized. So if we can take care of the environment impact in accordance with the law, then for him, we can carefully exploit the resources that we have. Senator Bongbong Marcos is open to a sustainable mining, and the cooperation of private companies is a big help in order to make it sustainable, as we all know that we have a great numbers of nickels and other natural resources that will help us to look for funds that we will use today and to other years. So we need to explore everything we can do, as there are billions of dollars that we can get in mining. For him, we need to do remedies for mining operations and make sure that also the safety of the miners is considered. For the overall mining issue, Senator Bongbong Marcos is agree to the provisions that President Duterte have made about mining companies, and for him, sustainable mining is the real answer, and we can't stop mining, as it will be a great value of source of revenue for the Philippines, and we just need to make it a sustainable one. For the rape-related abortion, Senator Bongbong Marcos is give it a yes. For him, women or rape victims have the choice for abortion, especially if they are not capable or have deficiency in parenting, and also if for them they find it not a good decision to continue pregnancy. As we all know, when you are a rape victim, you have this not just physical abuse but also a bad mentality, because you will not forget what happens. That's why for Senator Bongbong Marcos, yes, there are no such law today that give permission for abortion, as we all know that there are great numbers of or percentage of Roman Catholic here in our country. But for him, if he will be the president and if the Congress will pass the law, then it will be possible for him to have and create a law that will give a rape-related abortion, as he believes that from the statistical value and figure, as a public administrator, to avoid this strategy that affects the women's health, not just physically but also mentally, then for him, he should focus more on how the women are affected by this rape-related abortion, and lesser on the religion or the theological beliefs that we have. Because as we all know, Catholic or the Roman Catholic is a no for abortion, as we believe that it is a sin. For international dispute issue or the Spratly Island issue that's happening in between China and Philippines, Boy Abunda asked him if how long it will take for the diplomatic protest in order for us to succeed, and how the arbitration law is happening. In this issue, Senator Bongbong Marcos says that arbitration is no longer available choice for us because China already says that they will not cooperate or they are not signatory to the arbitration that we want to do. And also, we must not allow diplomatic protest or the diplomacy to fail, because it is the only choice and options that we have. Defensive war between China and Philippines is never and not an option for him, because as we can see, the military capability of the Philippines, from materials capability of the overall, is so far from man material and capability of China. So it will be a great loss for us. For him, defensive war is not an option at all. He have this feeling that we have still a chance and a hope for diplomatic way. He suggests example like the United States and China that have done a ping-pong diplomacy. That's why for him, we need to get think first on small things. Just like what happens in United States and China, we must engage in Chinese, and we must engage them more for the betterness of our country. And for him, we don't need United States to get in the middle of China and the Philippines, as China and United States is a rich country. For him, it's not a good choice to ask the United States for help, because maybe the United States will also have an interest to our Spratly Islands or to the overall country. So for him, we should continue the diplomatic way, and defensive war is not an option at all. For COVID-19 pandemic response, Senator Bongbong Marcos suggests that all of us should be and must be vaccinated, and the rollout of vaccines should be correctly and effectively and safe for all. From the statistics, there are few of percentage of us are vaccinated, and for him, we need to reach the 70 to 75% vaccinated Filipinos, and in order for us to get ourselves in a safer condition, we need to give back the economy and open it for a better job and a better version. And for him, when we are in a good condition, in a safe condition, when we are vaccinated, we can go back to a better work. And for now, job is his priority in order for us to come back stronger, as there are a lot of Filipinos are suffering and have too much hardship for the previous lockdowns. He suggests that there are no more lockdowns for Filipinos, and we need to come back to the economy. And for those people who are not vaccinated, for him, we need to inform them to understand. Don't force them, but to inform them how this vaccination is very important for their safety and in order for them to lessen the risk of having the COVID-19 virus. They have their own option when it comes to vaccination, and rather than punish him, we need to give them a proper orientation about the vaccination and how it will be a big help for them in order to go outside their home and in order for them to go back to work.
According to Vice President Leni Robredo about divorce, she thinks the law is lacking when it comes to supporting abused women. Also, she said that the country's family code has a declaration of nullity of marriage, but said this needed to be amended. About the mining issue, she is concerned to the local and considering the benefits of the affected community, especially those indigenous people. In abortion, she is against to it, but she added if the sake of the matter will be in danger, she would allow it. For international dispute, she said nurturing the relationship with China, but that relationship would be based on a mutual respect, adherence of international law. Lastly, about pandemic responses. For her, she will be always on the top of COVID-19 response, and she will assure that the governance of every department will work harmoniously.
Senator Manny Pacquiao and Vice President Leni Robredo are against in divorce. Number 2, mining. Senator Manny Pacquiao is in favor for sustainable mining, but we Filipinos should know our limitation and be responsible in not destroying our nature. Mining can ruin the natural habitat that, even though there is a reforestation program, we cannot bring back the nature to its original base. He said that government should supervise whether an open pit mining can be performed in a specific place or not. Number 3, abortion. Senator Manny Pacquiao is against in abortion, even if it is an abortion for pregnant rape victims. Instead, the rape victim should undergo counseling. Number 4, international dispute. West Philippine Sea between China and Philippines. According to Permanent Court of Arbitration, Philippines has the sovereign rights in WPS, but militarism continues until today. Senator Pacquiao said that we Filipinos should fight for our rights, and communication is the key to resolve this problem with other countries. He said that how we can resolve this problem if both countries lack in communication. Number 5, pandemic response. Senator Pacquiao said that our government should have a long-term concrete plan so our country should be ready in an upcoming pandemic that may occur. Revenue collection should be raised because if our government doesn't have enough funds, it will result that our country will have debt with other countries. He said that we should budget the needs of our entire country. The money that our government spending for our country should not be higher in the income of our country. In the COVID-19 resilience ranking, Senator Pacquiao suggested the mass vaccination, so our country can prevent the implementation of lockdowns that results to bankruptcy of some businesses and many Filipinos have lost their jobs. Pacquiao said If only the government had prioritized the fund of vaccines, then poverty in our country might be lessened.
First, the question about divorce. Based on his answers, he valued life and so with the marriage. He seems to be religious and follow the commandments of Bible. Second, the question is about mining. He is not against the mining because mining contributes our economic improvement. However, environmental laws and regulations should be strictly implemented. Third, the question is sensitive because it is about abortion. Same in number 1, for Isko, life is life and only God can revoke life. Fourth, the question is about the international dispute. He believes that dispute can be resolved through diplomacy and not war. Also, he believes that the Defense Secretary should be the Philippine Navy since they are the most knowledgeable in terms of law of the sea. Lastly, the question about the pandemic. He believes in the current programs of the government to fight COVID-19.